Okay, I think I've got it set up now, so we could actually open up the room, and unless it's the four of us, we cannot. Nobody else can speak in here.
Sorry. Okay. Let's go live.
I'm ready. Are we there? Are we live?
Yes, we are.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of Not For Now. What's intended to be a weekly stream has gone off. We've been off for a little while now. So what we decided in our little intro is that this is going to be the first episode of season 2, and everything that's happened up to this point is season 1. We'll see if we can't get through like a nice 8 weeks of this before we take another little break, that we can get to season 3. I think that's a fair enough way to interact with the. And I want to thank you guys all for your support. Anybody who's listened to all of our videos, we're just trying to develop and move forward. There's going to be some changing and like branding and platform eventually. There's going to be a lot of different changes going forward. But I wanted to take a brief moment at the beginning of this episode. First, I'm going to introduce everyone, and then I want to just talk to you guys about where we are and how to find us. We have Nodrik, a wonderful voice to read poems in various languages and a great philosophical input. We have Cordelh, our resident poet and reader, and pretty much the grandfather of this entire project. I'm your host, Jonathan Block, and we have Vexing Cat, our resident voice actress, who just absolutely kills it when it comes to reading certain types of poetry, and she just brings a lot to the table with her own aesthetic sensitivities and just ability to really present this art. Her love for poetry might be unmatched in this, which is, a hell of a bar. Okay, if you guys want to find us on Discord, I highly recommend you do that, because that's the main platform we all met on. I know we're on Twitch now, but we utilize Discord quite a bit, and there's a few servers that you'll see in the description. One's the Pindar Poets Society, that is Cordel's Discord, and the other is the Chessboard. This is a community I've become part of. I'm a growing part of it. I'm whatever staff and stuff, but basically I'm utilizing my newfound power there. I started promoting all kinds of philosophy, debate, discussion, and poetry there, and they liked it. So they empowered me to promote more of it, and that's what I'm doing at this second. So I encourage all of you guys, if you like Discord, to join both those servers. And if you don't like Discord or don't know, I encourage you to check that out. I think you'll find it to be quite nice. We're going to be growing a digital media footprint. We're not on all these platforms yet, but you're going to be seeing us really soon on Twitter, YouTube, and Reddit. So we'll make sure you guys get all of those ways to get at us as soon as possible. And I just want to thank you for being part of this project. We're willing to take submissions for music or poetry moving forward. If you want to become involved, please. You can Discord, get in the chat here, request any poems you want to hear read from any poet from any era. We want to engage you directly. And I want to thank you for your interest in poetry and philosophy and being here today. I think I've rambled quite enough. Let's go ahead and get to the room. I'll ask how people are doing, and then I think we can start reading some poetry. Nodrik, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm fine. Can you hear me, guys?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Loud and clear.
Awesome. It doesn't. Okay,
The
I'm
internet
doing
seems
super
to be
watch.
shredding it a little. Is that a sensitivity issue with the internet? You're cutting in and out for me, Nodrik.
You have the same thing, Blocks.
Okay.
A little bit
Yeah.
now and then you come and go.
Is it like this?
You're good.
Uh, and now it does it work?
Yeah, you could.
Is it the
Uh,
server probably? If all of us are messed up, it might be Discord.
It is Discord.
Okay,
it
just
is
we'll give it a
Discord
quick
because
minute.
usually on Zoom is way more like say smoother.
Hmm.
It goes
Mhm.
without cut, and yeah. Anyway, it was nice. Today is a special day. It was a space launch, and yeah, so the entire day was shadowed by the space launch. Like, yeah, it was nice. I'm actually still excited about it.
Man in space.
Yeah,
That's
and it,
cool.
it, it happened finally after being cancelled a few days ago. It happened. So
So positive news amidst the various negative stuff you see on the news today, huh?
I only watch positive news
That's
blogs.
good. That's good. Cordelh, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Smooth and easy. You know, just just happy that we're doing this, and that we're gonna be reading some poetry. Makes me feel
We'll
good.
get to that. We'll get to that in just a second. Vex and Cat, how's your day going today?
It's going pretty good. It hasn't really gotten started, but we're well underway at this point. I think I'm pretty excited. We're going to be talking about a poet that I was really unknowledgeable about until Cordell brought it up to my attention. And now, having read and reread his poetry, I am so ecstatic and excited to share it with everyone today.
Well, we're well enough into the episode to reveal the subject. Would you tell us who this is?
Today, we will be featuring Charles Baudelaire. So it's a pretty amazing French poet that Cordell turned me on to. So
Well, that sounds like we're going to get to hear some stuff read in French today by Cordelh. I'm really excited. One thing I want to mention on you saying your day's just getting started. Before we get into the poetry, one last little thing. This is a global community. We are trying to engage as many cultures as possible. I mean, it's an English show, obviously, but anytime we can, we're going to read poems in English so you can understand the content and then in its native language. We try and bring guests in to read in all sorts of languages. And if you have a diverse multicultural background, I want you to A, feel comfortable here, but B, I encourage you to ask us to read poems from any part of the globe in any language. We really embrace and encourage that, and it's just really part of this show. So Cordelh is like getting late in the evening, and Vex and Cat's more early in the morning. You know, we're all over the planet, and we embrace that and welcome you wherever you're from. I think we should just go ahead and throw to Cordelh at the gate. I think you had a plan for the first poem. Is that correct? To be read in 3 languages?
Yes, I figured we could read poems, but I actually think you're right. We should first read them in English, which leads me to say that I think Vex should choose the first poem to read, and I will adapt to it. I have the book right in front of me anyway, if we're talking about the same book, that is. The Flowers
that
of
works
Heather.
for me. Um, did you want to cover? Do you have the Injured Moon or La Lune Offense? Do
I believe
you
I
have
do.
that one?
Give me
Okay,
1 second, but I'm pretty sure I can find it.
no worries. I have it right here in front of me in the English. So
Yes, I got it.
wonderful. Did you want to read it in French or shall I read in English first?
No, please go ahead in English first.
Okay. In the meantime, Blocks, did you want to go ahead and post the Twitch stream and ping a few people? I know they were pretty excited to start watching us. This first poem by Charles Baudelaire is called The Injured Moon, as translated by Robert Lowell. O moon, discreetly worshipped by our sires, still riding through your high blue countries, still trailed by the shining harem of your stars, O Cynthia, the lamp of our retreats. The lovers sleep open mouthed. When they breathe, they show the white enamel of their teeth. The writer breaks his teeth on his worksheets. The vipers couple under the hot hill. Dressed in your yellow hood, do you pursue your boy from night to dawn, till the sun climbs skyward where dim Endymion disappears? I see your mother, child of these poor times, crushed to her mirror by the heavy years. She cunningly powders the breast that nourished you.
That was an
Having-
amazing reading. Sorry, I moved
it's an
my
amazing
mic.
poem.
Um,
No worries. He's got his guitar and he's playing a little bit for us today. So, but yeah, go ahead, Cordelh. It's all yours.
La lune offensée. Ô lune, qu'adoraient discrètement nos pères, du haut des pays bleus où, radieux sérail, les astres vont se suivre en pimpant attirail. Ma vieille Cynthia, lampe de nos repères, vois-tu les amoureux sur leurs grabats prospères, de leur bouche en dormant montrer le frais émail. Le poète buté du front sur son travail, ou sous les gazons secs s'accoupler les vipères. Sous ton domino jaune et d'un pied clandestin, vas-tu comme jadis du soir jusqu'au matin, baiser d'endymion les grâces surannées. Je vois ta mère, enfant de ce siècle appauvri, qui vers son miroir penche un lourd amas d'années et plâtre artistement le sein qui t'a nourri.
Beautiful.
Would
It's
you like?
gorgeous. And was it from Flowers of Evil?
Yes, but I was gonna suggest perhaps you should pick a poem this time and then Vex reads it.
No, is afterwards is the one called Cats
It's
from the
called
book?
The Offended Moon.
Okay,
in
yes, I
French.
have it.
Yes.
Okay, I have it. I have it in Russian,
Go ahead.
and it's called «Печали луны». Луна уже плывет, медлительно и низко. Она задумалась, так прежде чем уснуть, в подушках утонув, мечтает Адалиска, задумчивой рукой свою лаская грудь. Ей сладко умирать и млеть от наслаждения средь облачных лавин на мягкой их спине. И все глядеть, глядеть на белые видения, что как цветы встают в лазурной глубине. Когда ж из глаз ее слеза, из стомы праздной, на этот грустный шар падет росой алмазной, отверженный поэт, бессонный друг ночей, тот сгусток лунного мерцающего света подхватит на ладонь и спрячет в сердце где-то, подальше от чужих, от солнечных лучей. That was in Russian.
What do you think if we read Elevation next?
Sure, I have all of them ready.
How about?
Elevation?
Yes?
It's at the beginning of Flowers of Evil.
Yeah, I've got it right here. Let's see. I have the William Agler, the Roy Campbell, or the George Dillon. So I'm gonna just pick one. All right. So this next poem by Charles Baudelaire is called Elevation, as translated by Roy Campbell. Above the valleys and the lakes, Beyond, the woods, seas, clouds, and mountain ranges far. Above the sun, the aether's silver swanned with nebulae and the remotest star. My spirit, with agility you move like a strong swimmer with the seas to fight, through the blue vastness furrowing your grove with an ineffable and male delight. Far from these fetid marshes, be made pure in the pure air of the superior sky, and drink like some most exquisite liquor, the fire that fills the lucid dreams, the fire that fills the lucid realms on high. Beyond where cares or boredom hold dominion, which charge our fogged existence with their spleen, happy is he who with a stalwart pinion can seek those fields so shining and serene, whose thoughts, like larks, rise on the freshening breeze, who fans the morning with his tameless wings, skims over life and understands with ease the speech of flowers and other voiceless things.
That was gorgeous.
It was indeed.
I'm just reading his beautiful words. It's all him. Cordelh, would you please read it in French?
Yes, of course. Élévation. Au-dessus des étangs, au-dessus des vallées, des montagnes, des bois, des nuages, des mers, par-delà le soleil, par-delà les éthers, par-delà les confins des sphères étoilées. Mon esprit, tu te meus avec agilité, et comme un bon nageur qui se pâme dans l'onde, tu sillonnes gaiement l'immensité profonde, avec une indicible et mâle volupté. Envole-toi bien loin de ces miasmes morbides, va te purifier dans l'air supérieur, et bois comme une pure et divine liqueur le feu clair qui remplit les espaces limpides. Derrière les ennuis et les vastes chagrins qui chargent de leur poids l'existence brumeuse, heureux celui qui peut d'une aile vigoureuse s'élancer vers les champs lumineux et sereins, celui dont les pensées, comme des alouettes vers les cieux, le matin, prennent un libre essor, qui plane sur la vie et comprend sans effort le langage des fleurs et des choses muettes. That would be your turn, Nodrik.
Yeah, that was so beautiful in French. I just like spaced out. Взлет. Высоко над водой, высоко над лугами, горами, тучами и волнами морей, над горной сферой звезд и солнечных лучей, мой дух эфирных волн не скован берегами, как обмирающий на гребнях волн пловец. Мой дух взносится к мирам необразимым, восторгом схваченный ничем невыразимым. Безбрежность бороздит он из конца в конец. Покинь земной туман, нечистый, ядовитый, эфирном горных стран очищен и согрет. Как нектар огненный, впивай небесный свет в пространствах без конца, таинственно разлиты. Отягощенную туманом бытия, страну уныния и скорби необъятной, покинь, чтоб взмахом крыл умчаться безвозвратно в поля блаженные, небесные края. Блажен лишь тот, чья мысль окована зарею, свободной птицею стремится в небеса, кто внял цветов и трав немые голоса, чей дух взносится высоко над землею.
I really like those translation. It feels like
That is also in Russian, thank you.
it feels like everybody made a magnificent effort on translating Baudelaire. Actually,
Well, he's very famous. Like I studied him at school.
yeah, he's pretty famous. Just the language barrier sometimes stops these type of famous people from coming from one side of the barrier to another.
Nodrik, did you want to pick the next one? Or Cordelh, did you want to pick the next one?
Oh, please let Nodrik choose one.
Well, Albatross, of course, like my favorite.
good
It's the
choice.
one before elevation, actually, in the book. I think it's the one, just the one just before. Yeah. Yeah, in the book, it's the one at the beginning of the book, just like near it.
It's
Yeah.
I think I posted that one. We'll grab it real quick.
Yeah, I think
Out of
Cordelh
the
has it.
alphabetical listing of, so is it La Albatross
the
or
albatross. In English, it's called the
Uh,
albatross.
what is it in French?
L'albatros.
Yeah.
It's an L apostrophe albatros. It's a bird. It's a type of bird, a seabird.
No worries. I'll find it.
I think I have it here. If you want, I can send you a link. Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Yes, please.
Yeah, I got it. You'll have to look down the list, but it's there in English.
I got it. Okay. So, this next poem by Charles Baudelaire is called
Just one quick second, Vex. The room has been opened up so that by default it's on push to talk, and the people I'm inviting I've asked to like not speak because I don't want to interrupt like I'm literally doing now. I just wanted you guys not to be worried about. There's going to be some more people like joining the chat, and just they all know what we're doing here. Go ahead, Vex.
Okay. This next poem by Charles Baudelaire is called The Albatross. And this translation is by William Agler. Often, to amuse themselves, the men of a crew catch albatrosses, those vast sea birds that indolently follow a ship as it glides over the deep, briny sea. Scarcely have they placed them on the deck than these kings of the sky, clumsy, ashamed, pathetically let their great white wings drag beside them like oars. That winged voyager, how weak and gauche he is, so beautiful before, now comic and ugly. One man worries his beak with a stubby clay pipe. Another limps, mimics the cripple who once flew. The poet resembles this prince of cloud and sky, who frequents the tempest and laughs at the bowman. When exiled on the earth, the butt of hoots and jeers, his giant wings prevent him from walking.
So, in French this time. L'albatros. Souvent, pour s'amuser, les hommes d'équipage prennent des albatros, vastes oiseaux des mers qui suivent, indolents compagnons de voyage, le navire glissant sur les gouffres amers. À peine les ont-ils déposés sur les planches que ces rois de l'azur, maladroits et honteux, laissent piteusement leurs grandes ailes blanches comme des avirons traîner à côté d'eux. Ce voyageur ailé, comme il est gauche et vole, lui naguère si beau qu'il est comique et laid. L'un agace son bec avec un brûle-gueule, l'autre mime en boitant l'infirme qui volait. Le poète est semblable au prince des nuées, qui hante la tempête et se rit de l'archer. Exilé sur le sol au milieu des huées, ses ailes de géant l'empêchent de marcher.
So passionate.
Sorry, I'm taking advantage of the in-between to lit up my smoke.
Oh, okay. So this time I will read in Polish. Uh, the albatross. Albatros. Czasami dla zabawy uda się załodze pochwycić albatrosa, co śladem okrętu polatuje bezwiednie, towarzysząc drodze, która wiedzie przez fale gorzkiego odmętu. Ptaki dalekolotne, albatrosy białe, osaczone, niezdarne, zhańbione głęboko, opuszczają bezradnie swe skrzydła wspaniałe i jak wiosła zbyt ciężkie po pokładzie wloką. O, jakiś jesteś marny, jakiś szpetny z bliska. Ty, niegdyś piękny w locie wysoko daleko, ktoś ci fajko w dziób sztuka, ktoś dla pośmiewiska przedrzaźnia twe podrygi skrzydlatej kaleko. Poeta jest podobny księciu na obłoku, który brata się z burzą wstrzydzi z łucznika, lecz spędzony na ziemię i szczuty co kroku wiecznie się swe skrzydła olbrzymie patyka.
That was awesome. So I guess it's my turn to pick a poem.
Yeah, unless Blocks wants to pick it up. Sure.
Would you like to pick a poem, Blocks?
Okay, you
I'll
can
pick
pick.
one.
No, I want just you guys are paying way more attention to what's like been read or not. I'm just I'm a little bit disorganized today. Could you guys pick one for me, please?
Oh, yes, for
Good.
sure. The death of the artist. Well, actually, no.
I think we should cover.
Yeah.
He should do Le Jeu.
Yeah.
The one about gambling.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he might like that one. I'll send it to him. Okay. Sent. The first poem it listed is in the original French, and then just pick one of the English translations.
This is Gambling by, how do I pronounce Baudelaire? I want to get this right. How do I say his name? It's a French name, and just I want to try and get the subtlety of the pronunciation right. How do you pronounce that, Cordelh?
Baudelaire.
Baudelaire.
Yes.
And then has Charles come out? Like, is that Americanized, or is that, how do you say that Charles in French?
Charles Baudelaire.
Oh, Charles.
Yes.
Charles Baudelaire.
I'm pretty sure you can say it in an Americanized way. It's okay, you know. I mean...
Baudelaire. Just Baudelaire, right? Charles Baudelaire. Anyway. Baudelaire.
Yes, there you go. That's
Gambling. In faded armchairs, aged courtesans, pale eyebrows penciled with alluring, fatal eyes, smirking and sending forth from wizened ears a jingling sound of metal and of gems. Around the gambling tables, faces without lips, lips without color, and jaws without teeth. Fingers convulsed with a hell-born fever, searching empty pockets and fluttering bosoms, and fluttering bosoms. Under dirty ceilings, a row of bright lusters, and enormous oil lamps casting their rays on the tenebrous tenebrous brows of distinguished poets who come there to squander the blood they have sweated. That is the black picture that in a dream one night I saw unfold before my penetrating eyes. I saw myself at the back of that quiet den, leaning on my elbows, cold, silent, envying. Envying the stubborn passion of those people, the dismal merriment of those old prostitutes, all blithy, selling right before my eyes. One his ancient honor, another her beauty. My heart took fright as its envy of so many wretches running fiercely to the yawning chasm, who, drunk with their own blood, would prefer, in a word, suffering to death and hell to nothingness.
That was a beautiful translation, Blocks.
Actually, the next translation rhymes. I
Please
feel
go ahead.
like whether I should read it or not, someone should. Should I just go ahead and read this one myself, or like, yeah, whatever. I'll do it. I haven't read yet. I'm just gonna read this one again, everybody, because I find I find translation fascinating for a lot of reasons. There's like this philosophical element where there's something inside a poem you try to get out, and it has to do with like steel manning of arguments and like good faith interpretation and the principle of charity. So I just find this aspect of poetry to be fascinating in itself, and I really like having people around who understand the other languages as well. I speak a little Spanish and like Romanian, but it's neat to have conversations about what something means ever, and I think this is a good way to kind of tease it out. So after I do this, I guess you can read it in French, correct?
Yes, of course.
Lovely. Okay, so you just heard it one way. Sorry I stumbled a few times. I'm going to read this new one. Hopefully I get right through it. The same poem, translated by Roy Campbell. The Gamblers. In faded armchairs, harlots of past years, pale with false eyebrows, wielding fatal lies, and weird affected airs, clink from thin ears, a feeble sound where tin with crystal vies. Round the green tables, faces without lips, lips without color, jaws their teeth surviving, and fingers with a hellish fever grips, convulsively in breasts and pockets diving. Under the dirty ceiling, lustres flame, and chandeliers that blaze without remittance, on shady brows of poets dear to fame, who come to waste their sorely sweaten pittance. Such was the picture in nocturnal dreaming I saw unfurled to my clairvoyant eye. Into that grim vault, one form on elbows leaning, unspeaking, cold and envious, was I. Yes, envying, for all their tenacious passion, these raddled tarts in their funeral glee, who trafficked there in such a merry fashion, dead virtue and lost beauty on the spree. My heart was chilled with fear at envying wretches who, headlong, rush to be destroyed, and, drunk with their own blood, seek anything, hell, death, or torture, rather than the void. I actually think I liked the more direct translation better. I have a question for you, Cordelh. Have you already read through this poem in French, like
Yes, of
recently or
course.
now?
Yes.
Okay, so right now, having the first translation that I offered,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that okay, I can tell he had to adjust some stuff to make it rhyme more, right?
Yes.
So I want to ask, is the first one, how much do you think that the translation was just direct word for word, concept for concept, and how much do you think he tried to maintain a poetic flow? Like, was the first one actually morphed a bit too, or was it pretty close to a direct
The
translation? Is my
more was
question.
closer to a correct translation. However, there are things that I'm not sure can be totally translated, or that, for the sake of understanding or translated in another way. Like I
You
think
mean
at one
like
point you said
subtext,
uh, an eye
like
all
connotation
seeing
of
or something like that.
do you mean like in French where it's written it has subtext or connotation that's somewhat impossible to translate? Is that what you
Yes,
mean?
sort of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
for
I've heard
example,
about that from ancient Greece has ancient Greek has a problem that every word had like two meanings and each sentence would have the main meaning but then a secondary meaning based on those secondary meanings. So like it's not impossible to translate, but each really well written sentence can have literally two meanings at once and they kind of play with each other and translating it can be like near impossible.
well, there is always some artistic creativity in translating poem, you know. Actually, it's a beautiful
Hmm.
job when you think about it. A lot of writers did it. It's just
Hmm.
that uh, it's really hard. It's a really hard job, you know. I figured. Even when I make a translation and I reread it and I rewrite it and all of that, I'm never totally happy with the meaning and intonation of it.
Well, the reason I asked is I felt as though when I read this translation, it seemed just from the way it was written, I'm guessing it was a more direct translation, and I really liked it. I thought the meaning was well put. And then the second translation rhymed nicely, but I feel as though this person, Roy Campbell, it's not like he made a pig's ear of it. I just feel as though he didn't do justice to some of the ideas in the first one, and I just kind of wanted to know if maybe there was some real poetic license taken in the first translation, so the second one was closer to the original than I thought. But I think my impression was really close to the reality, and I guess I think I like the William Agler one better, even though it's less
The
formal.
first one you read that wasn't rhyming was closer to
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
the the expressive reality of the poem. If
If you'd
that's
be so
yeah.
kind as to read it in its native language, I'm ready.
Le jeu. Dans des fauteuils fanés, des courtisanes vieilles, pâles, le sourcil peint, l'œil câlin et fatal, minaudant et faisant de leurs maigres oreilles tomber un cliquetis de pierre et de métal. Autour des verts tapis, des visages sans lèvres, des lèvres sans couleur, des mâchoires sans dents et des doigts convulsés d'une infernale fièvre, fouillant la poche vide ou le sein palpitant. Sous de sales plafonds, un rang de pâles lustres et d'énormes quinquets projetant leur sueur sur des fronts ténébreux de poètes illustres qui viennent gaspiller leur sanglante sueur. Voilà le noir tableau qu'en rêve nocturne je vis se dérouler sous mon œil clairvoyant. Moi-même, dans un coin de l'antre taciturne, je me vis accoudé, froid, muet, enviant, enviant de ces gens la passion tenace, de ces vieilles putains la funèbre gaieté, et tout gaillardement trafiquant à ma face l'un de son vieil honneur, l'autre de sa beauté. Et mon cœur s'effraya d'envier maints pauvres hommes courant avec ferveur à l'abîme béant et qui, sous de son sang, préféreraient en somme la douleur à la mort et l'enfer au néant. Please, Nodrik, give us the
Yeah.
final reading of this.
You know what's weird about that one that like I enjoyed that, but
Mhm.
something about being so ignorant to French as I am, um, I've noticed certain poems when I've heard you read them in French or whatever, when I hear things in French, sometimes they come through so clearly, like it's almost like certain words. Maybe it's because of the Latin background to English, where sometimes I feel like I understand and sometimes I just understand much less. Maybe it's the vocabulary this gentleman chose. I'm not sure, but it's funny how that one I related a little less to than some of the others I've heard. I'm not sure why. I might have to just like go through this one in French and just kind of look at the words, but that's
If
pretty
you
neat.
want, after the reading of Nodrik, I'll tell you what this is about because it's a funny poem actually. Well,
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
read it.
Okay, sure. This time I will read it in Russian. В круг ламберных столов преклонных лет блудницы и камни, и металл на шеях, на руках, сжиманен тел изгиб, насурмлены ресницы, во взрослых, ласковых, безвыходность и страх. Там, над колодой карт, лицо с бескровной кожей, безгубый рот мелькнул беззубой чернотой. Тут пальцы треплят, сжимаясь в нервной дрожи, то высохшую грудь, то кошелек пустой. Под грязным потолком от люстр давно немытых ложится желтый свет на груды серебра, на сумрачные лбы поэтов неизменных, которым в пот и кровь обходится игра. Так предо мной прошли в угаре ночи душной картины черные, пока сидел я там, один, вдали от всех, безмолвный, равнодушный, почти завидуя этим господам. И еще сберегшим страсть и старым проституткам. Еще держимся, как воин на посту, спешащим промотать, подать веселье жутком один талант и честь, другие — красоту. И в страхе думал я, смущенный чувством новым, что это зависть к ним, пьянящим кровь свою, идущим к пропасти, но предпочесть готовым страдания, гибели и ад небытию. Well, that was a sassy poem.
So, basically, back in the days, France had very different customs than nowadays and what we would consider, the norm. And they had absinthe bars, opium smoking rooms, and obviously the very famous type of Moulin Rouge cabaret. And then, of course, you had, the whorehouse, like the red light district. And Baudelaire was one of those poets that really embraced I want to say the beauty of life of those times, but obviously many of us would find this morally subjective. So I would say he was a little bit decadent for some others. It just depends on the perspective, He did enjoy a lot absinthe and hashish and drugs and all of that. He actually wrote many poems about that, which I don't believe are included in this book. But yeah, it's okay. And I'm pretty sure this poem is about, this sort of night of Paris, in which people go out, just drink, take drugs, see women, lights, and all of that. It's part of that magical scenery that, that existed in those days.
I like how he mentions the age of the prostitutes, that they are slightly used. Like somehow. The elderly, slightly used prostitute. This was very funny, actually. They probably they're probably prostitutes over 30 or something in his eyes, and they like elderly, slightly used.
I'm not sure if 30 was the minimum of age in those days. I'm pretty sure it was
He was
all
like
random.
25.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a randomness of age. I mean, we're talking of other times though. There was this movie about it. I think it was a French movie about the history of the red light district basically, and how in France it went from being a part of this culture to disappearing totally and becoming completely illegal.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we should do the next poem. Who chose last time? I think this one you chose. Like it smells like you, so it's probably your
Well, I'm pretty
choice.
sure Vexx chose it. Yes.
The Gambler? I'm sure you did it.
Hmm.
Rex? I think
I
Cordelh
picked
did
it
it.
for Blocks for his poem.
What am I reading?
Okay, sorry. I'm so sorry. Like
Uh,
I take it back, Rex. So don't mind. Never mind.
Mm.
what about reading The Death of the Artist? Do you guys
Okay.
have it?
No, just tell me the page or something.
It's page 181.
Okay,
It's
I will get it.
yeah, it's close off the end of the
And
book.
what is the French name for it?
La mort des artistes. If you want, I'll send you a link to it. Or I'll write it down directly, actually. Sorry. Gosh. And where are you? Death of artists, or something like that. It should be in English.
Okay.
It's if you have a book, it's like I think it's the very end of the book.
I just have his website with all of his poems, and
Mhm.
they put the law at the end, so it's a little. So I have to look for mort de artiste, and then in brackets law.
I think I
I
have it for
found
you
I
if you
found
want. Yeah.
I found it. Don't worry. It's just let's see. There's the William Agler, the Roy Campbell, or Louis Piaget shakes. Let's go with that one. Uh, this next poem by Charles Baudelaire is called The Death of Artists. How often must I shake my bells and deign to kiss thy brow debased, full travesty, to pierce the mark whose goal is mystery? How oft my quiver waste thy darts in vain? We shall exhaust our soul and subtle brain and burst the bars of many a tyranny ere we shall glimpse the vast divinity for which we burn and sob and burn again. Some too their idol never knew, and now, flouted and branded with the brand of hell, go beating fists of wrath on breast and brow. One hope they know, strange, darkling citadel. Can death's new sunlight, streaming over the tomb, lure the dead flower of their brain to bloom?
And now I'll do the French reading, I guess. La mort des artistes. Combien faut-il de fois secouer mes grelots et baiser ton front bas, morne caricature, pour piquer dans le but de mystique nature? Combien, ô mon carquois, perdre de javelot? Nous userons notre âme en de subtils complots, et nous démolirons maintes lourdes armatures avant de contempler la grande créature dont l'infernal désir nous remplit de sanglots. Il en est qui jamais n'ont connu leur idole, et ces sculpteurs damnés et marqués d'un affront qui vont se martelant la poitrine et le front n'ont qu'un espoir, étrange et sombre Capitole, c'est que la mort, planant comme un soleil nouveau, fera s'épanouir les fleurs de leur cerveau.
Yeah. I will read it in Polish, the translation. And It's called Śmierć artystów. Ileż razy mam jeszcze dzwoneczkami dzwonić, całować w niskie czoło mdłą karykaturę, by wreszcie w cel utrafić w mistyczną naturę. Ileż mam moje kołczanie oszczepą roztwornić w finezyjnych projektach zużyje się dusza i niejedno zwalnimy mocne rusztowanie, nim wreszcie wielkie dzieło ciałem nam się stanie. To, którego głód straszny do łez nas przymusza, a tacy, co daremnie śnią o swym idolu, rzeźbiarze, z których żaden klątwie ujść nie zdoła, próżno walący młotem w swe piersi i czoła, mają jedną nadzieję, mroczny Kapitolu, tę, że śmierć, kiedy wreszcie się podobna słońcu, kwiatom ich mózgu każe się rozdzwonić w końcu.
Thank you.
Yeah, that one was really sad.
Well, you know, it's a poem about the death of artists, and it is true that ultimately most artists dream of being surviving the day death. So it is sad, but at the same time it points out to that, you know, to the desire of immortality.
Yeah.
And I think somehow that desire is really important because we don't realize this, but it's what really pushes everybody to, you know, keep on writing whatever happens. I mean, there is plenty of writers that don't have it easy and keep on writing, and Baudelaire is a beautiful example of that. I mean, he had the occasion to get a classical education, but he was a terrible student, and then his father-in-law wanted to send him, I think it was his father-in-law, perhaps it was his father, wanted to send him in the military somewhere in, I think it was Indochine or some horrible thing like that in the middle of Asia, and he ran away. And then the guy, you know, fell down in poverty because basically he didn't have the support of his family, which leads to, I believe, this type of poem, you know, that desire of having the ideas being immortalized beyond the wish of comfort or the the desire of a normal life or happy life or things like that, you know. And without that specific desire, we wouldn't have many of the writers that we've spoken about. I think even many of the philosophers, Nietzsche would be among them. Like,
Yeah, right.
Vexx.
Pick the next one.
Yes, please.
Okay. So the next poem that I think I'd like to cover, here we go. So he actually wrote these series of 4 poems that are all called the same thing. But it's interesting because, like, in English, they all have the same name, but they have different French continuations, and they're all called spleen.
Yes.
So the first one I would like to do is spleen. pluvius irritated, and I thought we could do each one of these and how very different they are, despite having similar names.
Are they from
So
Flowers of Evil or some
they're
other?
they're it's a pluvios irrite.
They're all from Flowers of Evil, right?
They all yes,
Okay.
yes they
So I have both books here. So
are. Okay. So this first poem is Spleen Pluvios Irritated. Spleen by Charles Baudelaire. January, irritated with the whole city, pours from his urn great waves of gloomy cold on the pale occupants of the nearby graveyard, and death upon the foggy slums. My cat, seeking a bed on the tiled floor, shakes his thin, mangy body ceaselessly. The soul of an old poet wanders in the rainpipe with the sad voice of a shivering ghost. The great bell whines, the smoking log accompanies in falsetto the snuffling clock, while in a deck of cards reeking of filthy scents, my mortal heritage from some dropsical old woman, the handsome knave of hearts and the queen of spades, converse sinisterly of their dead love affair. As translated by William Agler.
Yeah, in French they all called spleen. I'm not sure if you guys know what spleen is, actually. Uh,
I know what it is in the human body, and
yeah,
I would know what it means when you're venting your spleen.
I'm not
So
sure what venting your spleen means.
it means spilling vitrolic. You were being, what's the word I'm trying to think of? When you're venting your spleen, that means you're airing out grievances and things that are make you mad or irritated.
Okay, so yes, there is a similarity to that.
Hmm.
Spleen is a form of melancholy. Um, Back in the days, people believed that it was actually a disease, which I guess the closest could be depression, to compare it to something nowadays. And they called it spleen because indeed they believed that it came from the spleen, but it was more of a melancholy of life. And this is when they talk about the spleen like this is what they mean a form of sadness and admiration for beauty, but at the same time, I guess nihilism. I don't. It's pretty hard for me to translate the emotion because it's an emotion, you know. But I'll read the translation of what you just read in French. Pluviose, irritée contre la ville entière, de son urne à grands flots, verse un froid ténébreux aux pâles habitants du voisin cimetière. Et la mortalité sur les faubourgs brumeux. Mon chat, sur le carreau cherchant une litière, agite sans repos son corps maigre et galeux. L'âme d'un vieux poète erre dans la gouttière avec la triste voix d'un fantôme frileux. Le bourdon se lamente et la bûche enfumée accompagne en fausset la pendule enrhumée. Cependant, quand un jeu plein de sales parfums, héritage fatal d'une vieille hydropique, le beau valet de cœur et la dame de pique causent sinistrement de leurs amours défunts.
Just
I have
one
it.
quick second.
Sure.
Somebody I asked to join this channel said they couldn't hear when they joined. That's bizarre. I believe everyone else can hear.
Is it because he's deafened?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's Deshaun here. I don't know if he can hear us or not, but Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
I don't know.
Mm.
Hmm.
So
I'll double check the proofs.
I found the 4 poems named Spleen, and I found the one you all read because of the Pikavaya Dama is the heart, or like, no, the Lady of Spades, I think. Yeah.
Yes,
So this is the card.
yes, that's the
And
one.
the, yeah, and okay, but it starts from February, but I remember Wax read January, so this was interesting to me. And you did not read any months at all. Like here it started from winter.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I just remember that Wax started with January and in Russian it's translated to February. So I'm interested how with what winter months does it start?
Wait, Vex, did you start it with a season, with a month?
Yep, the version that I read is by William Agler,
Well,
and it starts January, irritated with the whole city.
Yeah, and to me it's the same, but it started from February, but the rest is the same actually because
yeah.
the deck of cards and the Lady of Spades.
What does pluviose
Wait,
mean?
because perhaps it may have another meaning than what I think.
What
Yes, that
pluviose?
is
Yeah.
it. Okay, so pluviose is actually the fifth month of the Republican calendar under Napoleonic rule. It's back in those days when the French Revolution happened, which, well, he came up, he came to live a little bit after that sequence, you know. So he knew
Yeah.
the old writers that were from the classical kingdom of France, and then he was one of those writers that appeared after the revolution. And Pluviose is basically when the French made their revolution, they wanted to make a complete separation between the counting of season and time that was considered to be too connected with religion and kingdom. Basically, they wanted to make a total disconnect to it, and so
So it's not a winter month. It's actually the ending of the revolution.
let me put it even more fun. This month
Yeah.
starts on the 20th of January and ends on the 19th of February. So
Oh,
it's not even like a month like you we can,
I get it. I
you know,
get it. It's a
it's
period in winter,
well
and Russian is translated as February, and English translation basically said it's January.
even the years were translated and the seasons. I mean, it was a big mess. Like I don't
Oh
know
shit.
them.
Okay, yeah, but it was interesting to me because like I was looking for January and there was no January nowhere, but then I found it through the Lady of Spades, and actually I found the spleen for poems,
Of course.
and but the beginning starts February, arbitrary. Okay, so there is no actual month. It is in between both months, which are in winter, but basically he talks about the end of the 5 months period after the revolution. Yeah,
Yes, it is dates that were invented. There is, well, there are,
I
nobody
get it.
counts in
It's a
those anymore. That's what I mean.
but I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. It's a local French thing.
Republic.
Okay. Yeah. High five. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, I will read it in Russian. Uh, it's still called spleen because they did not translate it into body organ. Spleen as if the emotion, which is like what you describe, like it's a torn emotion. It's like in between suffering and melancholy. Yeah. Февраль, седой ворчун и враг всего живого. Навысился марш зловещий похорон. В предместьях свет, смерть и льет холодный звон на бледных жителей кладбища городского. Улегшись на полу, больной и зябкий кот не устает вертеть всем телом шелудливым через жлоб кловельный по сторонам боязливым поэта старого бездомный дух бредит. Намокшие дрова, шипа пищат упрямо, часы, простуженной им, вторят фистулой. Меж тем валет червей и пиковая дама, наследие мрачное страдавшей водяной старухи, полное зловония и отравы, болтают про себя о днях любви и славы.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So I posted a link to the month previews in English. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, I see it. Oh my god, it has its own Wikipedia page. So
Yeah, of
awesome.
course. Yeah. Hey. Vive la République.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the invented French man.
Yeah, well, you know, even the best of
It's okay.
intentions, sometimes end in.
Yeah, I like how nobody even bothered to explain it. They just like said it's either January or February.
Yeah, it was a tall mess actually back in those days.
Yeah, Jesus.
Well,
Yeah,
should I choose the next poem or? Oh no, actually,
I
let's go
think
for
I
the
think
next spleen actually.
yeah, everybody wanted to read like Vex
Yes.
wanted to discuss the entire spleen
The
for
series.
Yeah.
quadrilogy. No,
Totally.
quadrilogy.
Uh,
Quadrilogy.
So then the next one is spleen. I have more memories, or spleen. J'ai plus de souvenirs.
yes,
I
that's how
I
it
don't.
starts. Yeah,
Okay.
that is a beautiful one. It's my favorite one actually.
Of the four,
Yeah.
wonderful. Okay, I'm going to read. I think the Royal Campbell. This next poem is called Spleen by Charles Baudelaire, as translated by Roy Campbell. I have more memories than had I seen 10 centuries. A huge chest that has been stuffed full of writs, bills, verses, balance sheets, with golden curls wrapped up in old receipts and love letters. Hides less than my sad brain, a pyramid, a vault that must contain more corpses than the public charnel stores. I am a cemetery the moon abhors, where, like remorses, the long worms that trail, always the dearest of my dead assail. I am a boudoir full of faded roses, where many an old outmoded dress reposes, and faded pastels and pale bouchers only breathe a scent flask, long opened and left lonely. Nothing can match those limping days for length, where under snows of years grown vast in strength, boredom, of listlessness, the pale abortion of immortality takes the proportion. From henceforth, living matter, you are not, but stone surrounded by a dreadful thought, lost in some dim Sahara, an old sphinx, of whom the world we live in never thinks. Lost on the map, it is its surly way, only to sing in sunset's fading ray.
This is this is really beautiful. So remember how I told you he ran away before from the military?
Yes.
He escaped. He took a boat to Egypt. Actually, I'm pretty sure if I remember well my history. But I do know that Egyptian culture had a massive influence on his way of writing. I'll read the French version. Spleen. J'ai plus de souvenirs que si j'avais 1000 ans. Un gros meuble à tiroirs encombré de bilans, de vers, de billets doux, de procès, de romances, avec de lourds cheveux roulés dans des quittances, cache moins de secrets que mon triste cerveau. C'est une pyramide, un immense caveau, qui contient plus de morts que la fosse commune. Je suis un cimetière abhorré de la lune, où, comme des remords, se traînent de longs vers, qui s'acharnent toujours sur mes morts les plus chers. Je suis un vieux boudoir plein de roses fanées, où gît tout un fouillis de modes surannées, où les pastels plaintifs et les pâles bouchers seuls respirent l'odeur d'un flacon débouché. Rien n'égale en longueur les boiteuses journées, quand, sous les lourds flocons des neigeuses années, l'ennui, fruit de la morne incuriosité, prend des proportions de l'immortalité. Désormais, tu n'es plus, ô matière vivante, qu'un granit entouré d'une vague épouvante, assoupi dans le fond d'un Sahara brumeux, un vieux sphinx ignoré du monde insoucieux, oubli sur la carte et dont l'humeur farouche ne chante qu'aux rayons du soleil qui se couche. Perhaps
I love
after
it.
your reading, Nodrik, we could take a 2 minutes break if you guys are.
Yeah, I wanted to suggest it too. I was actually I was going to skedaddle myself, just
Mhm.
secretly.
Would you
Okay.
guys?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
we'll take
I want to read it first.
let's have Nodrik read, and then after that we'll take a quick break and then get refreshed and come back, and then we'll do the second or the third and fourth spleen poems and
Yeah.
continue on.
They actually go one after the other because the next one I see there will be the Sad King.
Mhm.
When the one which starts with the Sad King, the third one. Yeah, but this one is the memories one. Сплин. Душа, тобою жизнь столетий прожита. Огромный шкаф, где спят забытые счета, где склад старинных дел, романсов позабытых, записок и кудрей расписками обвитых, скрывает меньше тайн, чем дух печальный мой. Он — пирамида, склеп бездонный, полный тьмой. Он больше с трупов скрыл, чем братская могила. Я — кладбище, чей сон луна давно забыла, где черви длинные, как угрызенный клуб, влачится, чтоб точить полезный сердцу труп. Я — старый будуар, весь полный роз поблеклых и позабытых мод, где в запыленных стеклах постели грустные бледные буше впивают аромат. И вот моей душе бредут хромые дни неверными шагами, и вся оснежена погибших лет клоками. Тоска, уныние плод, тирания скорби дух, размеры старшее бессмертие примет вдруг кусок материи живой. Ты будешь вечно гранитом меж валов пучины бесконечной, вкушающих в песках Сахары мертвый сон. Ты — забытый сфинкс, на карты не внесен, чья грудь, свирепая, страшась тепла и света, лишь меркнущим лучам возносит гимн привета. Thank you. I felt this one. Was so angry. Is it your favorite from those four of them? He was like a rapper, actually. He like
From a
I
different
could
time.
as I was reading it, I was like I could feel the beat to it. Like it was written like a rap song, actually. Like I was,
Nice.
well, the dentists are still the bad boys. Have you seen K-pop? Sorry, a Gen Z reference.
I suggest we take the 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. We'll take a quick 5-minute break and then we'll be back. So if you want to just, take us out and then we'll go and we'll come back.
I'm just not being noisy, guys. Okay, doke. I'm ready when you are. Let's just wait a little longer for Vexx and Blocks then. I do not know. Just an instant. Let's try something else. Let's try something else. Let's see if I can do this. There you go. Rock and roll, guys. And we're going back live for all of you. Okay. Let's see. Hello? Here's Earth. Anybody out there?
Sorry for being too loud.
Ooh, nice.
Noise. Hello.
From what timeline are you from?
Oh, I'm from late, like early 2000s.
Oh, jeez. What's
Are we
happening?
live?
Yes, we are. Yes, Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear me read an original right out the gate, or should I go ahead and do that? Actually, I got to go really soon. I might as well do this. I want to make sure that
Please
it
go
gets in
ahead.
there.
Yes, have fun.
Um, this is a poem that a lot of emotion went into, and basically, if you guys want to discuss it a little bit after, I'd be happy to. But I just kind of want to let it stand for itself, because poetry aside, conceptually, I'm proud of some of the stuff that went into this. So, anyway, this is Unbroken by Jonathan Block. Gallantly shining across twisted canvas, combining brightly into mad hands, this blinding light, binding wishes, cast from raw kindness, cast on the landing, leading into the night, dark, cold, and lifeless. The cold might have heightened senses of mighty peril, yet without light, a young mind's slightly sterile, the impenetrable psyche, unable to fear, left unobserved, unperturbed, nothing's real. At least on the outside, all is an illusion, but the pain from within is as real as contusions. You can pretend all is well without lover's love, but you know that is bullshit or some sort thereof. The feeling within starts with a burble, rushing to stream, blue becomes purple, then to waters crashing down, chasms and hills, deepening red as mind oceans fill. Hearing a foghorn, cast out from the lighthouse, unknown location, let alone sound foundations. World views espoused, now strewn about, lay unhoused, and collected as wrecks, not hearing the horn blown yet. Having heard and adjusted, light now showing I've rusted, but I've learned just today that somehow it's okay. Because with light on the ocean, long nights gone away, and I have seen for the first time in my life the twisted canvas unbroken.
That was beautiful, Blocks. When did you write that?
I love it.
He literally wrote it
There you
like
go.
2 days ago.
Nice. Good timing.
It's
Oh,
fantastic.
she's gorgeous. Thank you for sharing.
Hmm.
He is our alternative philosophy poet,
I
I
agree.
think.
So, um, in absence of any question about it, I'll just say this. I really like philosophy. I like poetry. So basically, I was speaking about some stuff that's hard to speak about, and I made three separate references to metaphysics here. The main one being canvas, and then there's a joke in here. Like I don't know if you guys have heard the quote from Immanuel Kant that says metaphysics is a vast ocean with no lighthouses and no shores, with many a philosophical wreck strewn across it. So like this is sort of a reference to me, not so much being philosophically lost, but all people being philosophically lost, and people just basically not having like a guiding force in their lives or philosophies, and how a person in my life has helped me to feel better and more positive, and basically showing something that's seemingly impossible amongst this like dark ocean, and like basically showing you what metaphysics are, which is impossible, meaning like how Socrates might mention that a philosophy unapplied isn't philosophy. It's just like the world around you seems as it does, and the night refers to sort of a metaphysical darkness, meaning the things that harm us, the things that don't care about us, like the less pleasant aspects of life. So of all of this ocean or canvas, there's parts of it which affect us poorly, and I refer to it as being dark and cold, and I make different allusions how like without the light you can't really feel the cold because you just don't know what you're experiencing even though you do, so it feels bad. So basically I tried to make these references to metaphysics as a metaphor, but also as sort of like a direct reality, where that part where I'm talking about the foghorn, the lighthouse, and how I don't know what the foundations of the lighthouse are, meaning that I can see the light of what's being shown to me, but I don't really understand the world it's coming from. And then, the reference to worldviews espoused, strewn about, and they're wrecks. And it's like, I'm just literally, that whole stanza is just a straight up gag, like kind of memeing on that quote by Kant. And so I don't know if everybody would pick that up right away, but I tried to make it not so subtle that I was making philosophical, metaphysical references, and then in the middle of a heartfelt poem, I went ahead and threw a joke in there, and I'm pretty proud of that. I like that.
I find it so interesting that you talk about this actually, because I've been reading Alan Watts recently, and I've been
Oh yeah.
thinking about something that I feel we should do sometime all together. I think that would be something you would like. We should try to focus a little bit on the optimists, you know, philosophers. I'm thinking of Alan Watts, Kindergarten. There is a bunch of them that we can look up, and just make like a sort of series about how even in the darkest places we can still rejoice on the beauty of life, basically. Because somehow that sounds like a philosophical question too.
I'm really glad that you enjoyed it. And yeah, no, I'm not a huge Alan Watts fan, but I've been listening to some of his stuff recently. I've been learning about certain Eastern religions. And I have to say, certain stuff from Buddhism and Taoism, respectively, have really been influencing me in a positive way. And I would say that I don't know if I agree with 100% of what Alan Watts says, but when I listen to him babble about stuff, I feel like I'm getting closer to an understanding of reality and not farther. I like his sort of I don't want to say nonsense, but his ability to try and refer to everything as nonsense and just undermine people's assumptions about reality and stuff. I find it beneficial.
I think it's a recurrent school of philosophy, though. It comes and goes as the centuries goes, because all along history there have been people that have been trying to make us focus on the um, positive side of the of the world. Anyway, should we read another poem? Nodrik, do you have a poem in mind?
Oh, I wanted to say to Blocks something before he leaves. Blocks, you suggested once that I would write a poem making Russian language and, let's say, English language rhyme with each other. And I did it actually. I did write a poem in Russian. I translated it into English, and then I intertwined the poem together. Like,
Wow.
say, yeah. So
Wow. I want to hear that because I have
the
to go pretty soon. I want to hear that. Can you read that now?
yes, I can. Like you, I would say, я здесь, я пою, я снова в раю. We are by your side, singing with you. Yeah, and so okay, I will. I mean, guys, I'm sorry. Like we should go on with Splin probably, but I wrote this poem today. I mean, I finished it today.
Just go ahead, read it.
Oh no, no worries. We'll get it next week. I don't want to put you on the spot. Okay, you're an
No,
artist. This is
okay,
art.
that's
You
not
need
to
time.
be on
If
this
if you
stuff.
want to read it today, I want to hear it. But if you're uncomfortable,
Okay,
just there's time. I mean, no
I,
worries.
okay. I will go ahead and read it in Russian and then in English.
Lovely, lovely.
It's not a long one. In Russian. В раю. Я хожу по краю. Так, sorry. Я хожу по краю. Одной ногой я здесь остаюсь, а другой я в раю. Гуляю с друзьями и песни пою. Хоть они мне и рады, то к себе не берут. Поживи еще, детка, твои боли пройдут. И пусть разделяет нас время, и пусть разделяет нас путь. Мы с тобой остаемся, разделить твою грудь. Я здесь, я снова живу, гуляю с друзьями и песни пою. Мы ходим вместе по краю, одной ногой оставаясь в раю. So that's in Russian, it's a song. And now is exact English translation. In paradise. I walk around the edge. With one foot I stay here. The other steps to paradise, where my friends are near. Although they're glad to see me, they don't want me to stay. Go, be alive there, kiddo. Your pains will soon flow away. And even if time divides us and the path went the other way, we will walk with you here to keep the sadness at bay. I'm here. I sing again. My friends gave me a good advice. We go together around the edge, keeping one foot still in paradise. Я здесь, я снова в раю. We are by your side, singing with you. So that's it. It's a
Amazing.
song.
That's
Yeah.
that's great. I think it was very nice, but I have to say, just the abstract. I just love the idea that you're writing poems in two languages and just thinking about it in both. Like to me, it's such mentally stimulating to think about all of the possibilities of different like neuro pathway connections and how by the author actually understanding it in two languages, kind of like that. What was his name? Thomas Transtromer. Like the way that
Yeah.
he said that in translating it to other languages, it gave the poem a new ability to a new chance to express itself, right? So if you wrote a poem and then translated it yourself, I would be excited. But the fact that you're thinking about it while you write it is just like making me giddy. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, it's a neat concept.
Yeah, I did not know that the word paradise rhymes with you in English. So Russian paradise is раю, and in English is you, basically.
Hmm.
And it's so much wordplay with it.
Hmm. It's
Yeah.
exciting. Okay, so I don't think that this stream is ending right now, but as your host, Jonathan Block, need to take off. I have a couple of things I'm doing. I said at the beginning of the show here that, you guys should check out the Pindar Poetry Society on Discord and the chessboard. But actually, there's another server that's a friend of ours that I'm running a paint along project today. If you guys end up joining the chessboard, you'll learn all about that. We do art day, poetry day, animation Mondays, debate Tuesdays. We do workshop Thursdays, philosophy Fridays. We do a party on Saturday where debate's not allowed. We got stuff for everybody. So if you guys like the idea of hanging out and painting art with people and like listening to nice classical music or really whatever you want, we don't only listen to classical, but I try and cultivate an environment where we hang out and do art and like enrich our minds and experience. And I want to encourage all of you here listening to the stream to do that. And anybody who's here on the Discord server with us, I encourage you to go check out the Twitch stream. Let's like connect everything. We're gonna have Reddit presence. We're gonna have Twitter presence. So this is gonna be a wide-spreading net. And I want you guys all to participate and help cultivate this community into what you want to see. With the example of my friend Cordelh here being part of this and promoting his own content. I want to get everyone together. I want to make sure people know about the Pindar Poetry Society. Even though it's a smaller server, if you just want to hang out in a nice, calm, meditative atmosphere and get down with poets and stuff, there's probably not a better place on Discord than Pindar. So please consider joining us here. And otherwise, thanks for being here. We'll be here next week. That's what is it? 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time we start. Cordell? At
9
noon for me.
p.m.
We started like
GMT
an hour
plus
late
1.
today.
Yeah,
So
GMT
9 p.m. 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time is when we start the stream.
plus
That's
1.
3 p.m. Eastern for all you Americans. And thanks for being here today. You guys are going to continue without me, but I have to take off. Thank you oh so much.
Bye, Blocks. Have a good evening.
Bye, Blocks. It was nice to hear a poem.
Vexx. Shall we go for the rest of the Baudelaire part?
The spleen?
Yes.
Yes, we should.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the third poem in that series called Spleen. This one is Spleen. I'm like a king, or I'm like the king. So this translation is done by William Agler. I am like the king of a rainy land, wealthy but powerless, both young and very old, who contemns the fawning manners of his tutors and is bored with his dogs and other animals. Nothing can cheer him, neither the chase nor falcons, nor his people. Nodrik, you, I can hear you laughing. Sorry. Where was I? who contemns the fawning manners of his tutors, and is bored with his dogs and other animals. Nothing can cheer him, neither the chase nor falcons, nor his people dying before his balcony. The ludicrous ballads of his favorite clown no longer smooth the brow of his cruel invalid. His bed, adorned with fleurs de lis, becomes a grave. The ladies' maids, to whom every prince is handsome, no longer can find gowns shameless enough to wring a smile from his young skeleton. The alchemist who makes his gold was never able to extract from him the tainted element, and in those baths of blood come down from Roman times in which their old age the powerful recall. He failed to warm this day's cadaver in whose veins flows the green water of Lethe in place of blood.
Thank you for this reading. It was a beautiful reading. Sorry, we've been poking at each other. Vexx.
It was lovely, Vexx. I love it so much.
Okay, you okay over there, Nodrik? I was like, why is she laughing?
Yes.
What's happening? Okay, Cordelh, did you want to go ahead and read the French version, please?
Yes, of course. So, spleen. Je suis comme le roi d'un pays pluvieux, riche mais impuissant, jeune et pourtant très vieux, qui, de ses précepteurs méprisant les courbettes, s'ennuie avec les chiens comme avec d'autres bêtes. Rien ne peut l'égayer, ni gibier, ni faucon, ni son peuple mourant en face du balcon. Du bouffon favori, la grotesque ballade ne distrait plus le front de ce cruel malade. Son lit, fleur de lycée, se transforme en tombeau, et les dames d'atour, pour qui tout prince est beau, ne savent plus trouver d'impudiques toilettes pour tirer un souris de ce jeune squelette. Le savant qui lui fait de l'or n'a jamais pu de son être extirper l'élément corrompu. Et dans ces bains de sang qui des Romains nous viennent, et dont sur leurs vieux jours les puissants se souviennent, il n'a su réchauffer ce cadavre hébété, où coule, au lieu de sang, l'eau verte du l'été. Oh my
So
gosh,
intense.
this poem.
Yeah, the word cadaver. Like Jesus. So I'm already afraid to read it. Сплин. Я сумрачный король страны всегда дождливой, бессильный юноша и старец прозорливый, давно презревший лесть советников своих, скучающий меж псов, как меж зверей иных. Ни сокол, ни лучше мой, ни кул предсмертных стонов, народа павшего в виду моих балконов, ни песнь забавная любимого шута, не прояснят чело, не разомкнут уста. Моя постель в гербах цветет, как холм могильный. Толпы изысканных придворных дам бессильны изобрести такой бесстыдный туалет, чтоб улыбнуться им бесчувственный скелет. Добывший золото, алхимик мой ни разу не мог исторгнуть прочь проклятую заразу. Кровавых римских ванн целительный бальзам, желанный издавна дряхлеющим царям, не может отогреть холодного скелета, где льется медленно струей зеленое лето. Yeah. Apparently, in Russian, they translated cadaver as a skeleton.
It's a skeleton. It's a
Okay.
skeleton.
It is scary.
It's a beautiful poem, though. But you see, it does encompass the idea of what is the spleen, you know? It's that
Yeah.
feeling of being old even though a person is young, to be rich even though one is poor, to be poor even though one is rich. It's like this weird concept, you know, of,
Yeah.
yeah, like people.
So really dissonance, kind of. It's the reality. Okay. Spleen. It's like, isn't it? Wouldn't be translate in English as turned,
I would translate it
turned.
as artistic depression.
Artistic depression.
Yes, that is the closest I could come to modern understanding of it, because the truth is, back in those days, people actually thought that people could die from it, which I get somehow, you know, like to be so sad that the world does not make sense anymore, even though one sees beauty throughout it.
Sounds like classical depression,
Yes,
actually.
it does, but it has a name. In French, it does have a name.
Like only artists, like if it's artistic, then it's spleen.
Mhm.
If it's for normal people, it's depression.
It's more of a form of melancholy, I would say. But yeah,
Okay. But people
depression.
could die from it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, well, so it's not a funny
Sorry.
thing.
No,
People
nervous
die from
laughter.
depression. No love, and like we
Yeah,
don't,
it's a nervous laughter. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's a laughter of from people who get it, who are subjected to the spleen depression. Yeah. So Vex, the fourth one.
The next one. So this last one is called Spleen, but it starts with when this cold, heavy sky weighs like a lid. Spleen by Charles Baudelaire, as translated by Roy Campbell. When the cold, heavy sky weighs like a lid on spirits whom eternal boredom grips, and the wide ring of the horizon's hid in daytime darker than a night's eclipse. When the world seems a dungeon, damp and small, where hope flies like a bat in circles reeling, beating his timid wings against the wall, and dashing out his brains against the ceiling. When trawling rains have made their steel gray fibers look like the grills of some tremendous jail, and a whole nation of disgusting spiders over our brains their dusty cobwebs trail. Suddenly, bells are fiercely clanged about and hurl a fearsome howl into the sky, like spirits from their country hunted out, who've nothing else to do but shriek and cry. Then long processions without fiefs or drums, long processions without fifes or drums wind slowly through my soul. Hope, weeping, bows to conquest, and atrocious anguish comes to plant its black flag on my drooping brows.
Really good translation.
Yeah.
And thank you for the rating.
Of course.
So, in French, which will be the original version of it, is Spleen. Quand le ciel bas et lourd pèse comme un couvercle sur l'esprit gémissant en proie aux longs ennuis, et que de l'horizon, embrassant tout le cercle, il nous verse un jour noir plus triste que les nuits, quand la terre est changée en un cachot humide, où l'espérance, comme une chauve-souris, s'en va battant les murs de son aile timide et se cognant la tête à des plafonds pourris, quand la pluie, étalant ses immenses traînées d'une vaste prison, imite les barreaux, et qu'un peuple muet d'infâmes araignées vient tendre ses filets au fond de nos cerveaux. Des cloches, tout à coup, sautent avec furie et lancent vers le ciel un affreux hurlement, ainsi que des esprits errants et sans patrie qui se mettent à geindre opiniâtrement. Et de longs corbillards, sans tambour ni musique, défilent lentement dans mon âme. L'espoir, vaincu, pleure, et l'angoisse atroce, despotique, sur mon crâne incliné, plante son drapeau noir.
Okay, and the next translation is in Russian. It's the last of the four. Сплин. Когда свинцовый свод давящим гнетом стекла, склепа, на землю нагнетет и тягу нам не вмочь тянуть постылую, а день сочится слепо с костьму сплошных завес, мрачней, чем злая ночь. И мы не на земле, а в мокром подземелье, где мышь летучая, остенная мглой, надежда мечется в заторе душной кельи и ударяется о потолок гнилой, как прутья, частые одной темничной клетки, дождь плотный сторожит невольников тоски, и в помутившемся мозгу сплетают сетки по сумрачным углам седые пауки. И вдруг срывается вопль меди колокольной, подобный жалобно взрыдавшим голосам, как будто сонном дней бездомный и бездольный о мире возроптал упрямо к небесам, и дорог без пения владельщица венечна в душе, вообще, когда надежда слезы льет, как знамя черное свое тоска царица над никнущим челом победно разовьет.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. Even though it's like they are dark, like I mean, it's the nature of spleen, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's not even it's not cynical, but they're kind of little bit are. There is like I can feel a slight hint of cynicism in it.
This is actually my criticism about Baudelaire, because
Yeah.
you know, on first approach, one has to contemplate the beauty of everything he describes and the way he does it.
Mm-hmm.
But as the years went by, I realized that this is the work of a young man, you know, and that's when what you have to remember. This is written by a young man that's full on into parties and alcohol and insane stuff, and then has an extremely complicated relationship with his family, and at the same time doesn't manage to make money with what he loves. Baudelaire, I'm pretty sure, never was famous during his lifetime, so
Yeah.
and he had a short lifetime, so he didn't really have the time to actually become old to put, you know, more wisdom in his work. So in many ways, Baudelaire is actually meant for young people, you know, for people that look in the darkest places in times of turmoil and, you know, want some type of answer or, you know, something more. than just
Yeah.
get by or something like that.
Well, but he, like, in comparison to Percy B. Shelley, who was like super young when he wrote it, like way younger than Baudelaire now, like, but then Baudelaire writing the spleen. Percy B. Shelley, like, he expresses this raw love and raw emotion. And reading these poems from Baudelaire, I feel like they're written from like a man who is tired by life already. And they are not full of life, like they're cynical somehow to me.
Okay, so just to give you a timeline, he was born in 1821
Yeah.
and he died in 1867 at 46. And I'm
Okay.
pretty sure that during the last decade of his life, it just went down the drain. So,
Of course.
like, probably most of his work was early work.
Hmm. Yeah, those poems have no date on it. Yeah. Yeah.
Should
Yeah.
we finish up with a few original
I think
poems?
we should try to get Wolfie in
Yeah.
so he can read. Well, I can read some of mine. You can read some of yours. You wrote like you made today a poem. Like you posted today a poem, which I did not read before. I would like to hear it. You to read it
No,
because
I'm
you
gonna
posted.
read other poems. I have plenty of poems
No,
that I'll
okay, but like some poems that I did not hear.
share. Yes, some poems that you
Yes.
did not hear, I'm sure.
Yeah, whereas I'm pretty sure I know the Rainbow Last by heart already. Well, all three of them. I can already quote them. Like I look at the sun, I see the rainbow. Like you too will see the rainbow last. Rex is not talking to us.
It's okay. So which poem did you guys want to cover next, or did we want to kind of wrap it up here?
We want to wrap it up here. Read some originals already.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get Wolfie in here, I can get him his
Yeah,
perms. So
sure.
Let's see if I can get him here, or if anybody can.
I think Rex can. Rex is a magician with Zoom.
Yes?
Yeah, it's. Okay. While you all guys wait, maybe Cordelh can read a poem.
Yes.
sounds great.
So I'll read this one. It is a poem that you heard once. So, when I come out of darkness into light, I become as blind as when I come out of brightest place and am drawn into darkness. Both darkness and light inspire me fright, as if prolonged exposure brought a drought of my nature. I turn to catharsis, purging the bright and purging the dark until all that is left is the void within. No hope means no despair, no joy, no tears. I forget from my life all the landmark, nothing left without and nothing left within. I abandon all grit and all my fears, bare naked with no coins, and the mind bare, stripped of my love, drained by life and hollow. I'm both all-seeing and completely blind. There are no more reasons to be scared. In the void, with no shadows, nothing glows. Beyond fear and hope, I find peace of mind.
When did you write it?
A few days ago. I actually don't put dates all the time on my poems.
This one is sad. It have been said a few days ago.
Yeah, comes up and down, nature of existence. Trying to coincide the short existence we have with the inevitable death that will come after. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Everybody. To everybody. To some sooner, to some later, but it will come. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sad, like it's a nervous laughter. We are all subjected to that. Vex, do you have a poem? Or anything you would like to read?
Sure. I was going to read one more Charles Baudelaire
Sure.
that I really thought was beautiful. It was the Autumn. Where is it? Just Autumn by Chant so it's Charles Baudelaire Autumn or Chant d'Automne.
Oui. Yeah.
Automne.
Yes,
Okay.
I know that poem actually.
So here we go. Now colder shadows. Who'll turn back the clock? Goodbye, bright summer's brief, too lively sport. The squirrel drops its acorn with a shock. Cordwood reverberates in my cobbled court. Winter has entered in my citadel. Hate, anger, fear, forced work like splitting rock. And like the sun born to its northern hell, my heart's no more than a red, frozen block. Shaking, I listen for the wood to fall. Building a scaffold makes no deafer sound. Each heartbeat knocks my body to the ground, like a slow, battering ram crumbling a wall. I think this is the season's funeral. Someone is nailing a coffin hurriedly. For whom? Yesterday, summer. Today, fall. The steady progress sounds like a goodbye.
Very nice.
Yeah.
If you'd like, I can read it in French.
I would adore it.
Yeah. And afterwards, Wolfie has joined the chat. And afterwards, I think we can ask Wolfie to read his original.
I agree.
I will not read this one. I will just like listen to Cordel's French version. But I love this poem. It's autumn, right?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Chant d'automne. Bientôt, nous plongerons. Sorry. Bientôt, nous plongerons dans les froides ténèbres. Adieu, vive clarté de nos étés trop courts. J'entends déjà tomber avec des chocs funèbres le bois retentissant sur le pavé des cours. Tout l'hiver va rentrer dans mon être. Colère, haine, frisson, horreur, labeur dur et forcé. Et comme le soleil dans son enfer polaire, mon cœur ne sera plus qu'un bloc rouge et glacé. J'écoute en frémissant chaque bûche qui tombe. L'échafaud qu'on bâtit n'a pas d'écho plus sourd. Mon esprit est pareil à la tour qui succombe sous les coups du bélier infatigable et lourd. Il me semble, bercé par ce choc monotone, qu'on cloue en grande hâte un cercueil quelque part. Pour qui? C'était hier l'été. Voici l'automne. Ce bruit mystérieux sonne comme un départ.
Thank you for that. That was wonderful.
No, actually, I missed a part. I didn't see it.
Oh.
J'aime de vos longs yeux la lumière verdâtre, douce beauté, mais tout aujourd'hui m'est amer, et rien, ni votre amour, ni le boudoir, ni l'âtre, ne me vaut le soleil rayonnant sur la mer. Et pourtant, aimez-moi tendre cœur, soyez mère, même pour un ingrat, même pour un méchant, amante ou sœur, soyez la douceur éphémère d'un glorieux automne ou d'un soleil couchant. Courte tâche, la tombe attend, elle est avide. Ah, laisse-moi mon front posé sur vos genoux, goûter en regrettant l'été blanc et torride de l'arrière-saison, le rayon jaune et doux. Okay. That's an
Thank
intense
you.
poem.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was like I read it and I just thought of how beautiful and poignant it was, but like hearing it in its original language, it's like woof. Okay, well, I'm gonna call it here, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Cordelh, keep up the beautiful poetry, and I'll see you next week.
For sure. Have a good
All
night.
right. Good night.
Good night, Alex.
So, where is Wolfie?
Wolfie,
I'm here, guys.
Wolfie is us, like Wolfie was
Oh,
like a
go.
ghost. Holy ghost. Wolfie. Wolfie is not joining Zoom.
No? Okay. Would you like to read us a poem, Wolfie?
Yeah, sure. I wrote a couple new poems. This I suppose, like, are we PG-13? Or what's going on here?
Yes, we are online, live, and streaming.
No, are we PG-13? Like, what's the rating of this?
For
Is this adults only, mature? Because I've got one that's really, really intense.
not for only for children, like due
Not for children?
no, for people with all ages, because we will not restrict this
Okay,
video.
right. Okay, sure. Well, I'll just read something else.
Yeah, something light.
Yeah, this one's called Automaton. Systematic lacks of grace, the pulse of horror within our race. If I took the time to look inside, I'd see the face of hell disguised. Convoluted spasms that twitch and grind, how much I long for serenity outside. Of these confines of the mind, this separation from body, a prison left behind. The clouds that climb and spiral outward, stratospheric heights I leave behind. Dissected by the meter, broken organic and severed. Who am I to push these keys, to swallow rhyme and reason of the other? I'm ruined by the tampering pulse, prized possessions within dissection. I look within and all I see is horror of the enslaved mind with smoke and shattered mirror. So upon broken easel and twisted guts, here I shit and smear the meaning within. A rutted, broken, bleary, bleeding frame, lost within refractions of the brightest light and clamour, rebounding ricochets that spark and then etch. Into the night's eye like a king without a time, I'm nothing but a charlatan without a kingdom to define. That in existence, broken thoughts could not restrain or tame. A patch of liquid from the vessel, a poison all the same. I'm igniting fires, a pyromaniac static, head held firmly down by crimson glazed fist, the twisted within the searching, cut across the wrist. I am a tortured soul too ugly to behold, a silence sharply broken by the hiss and snap, this mold. Who were you to bend the broken and snap already breaking fingers, sinking ever deeper into dream, haunted by this stench that lingers? of rotted form and interlaced by the begging for escape. I have been led down this road 1,000,000 times, unborn and slaughtered this womb of creation. I can no longer stand the hate and malice of this monster or automation. Here we are to know fully. Sorry. We are yet to know fully the creature's true motif, as within digitized fires burn, and the innocent will weep. Now all just a part of this machine, drilled down and wasted, pulverized senses now idly left to die, bleeding out upon silken path, a place so inappropriate for this vision of death. How dare we fight for freedom within a whimper of this, our final breath.
That was the lighter one.
Yeah. The other one's actually quite visceral.
Oh,
That was a bit lighter than the other one. Yeah, the other one was really intense.
oh wow.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, it's funny to think that I can even, yeah, I could definitely get a lot more visceral than that. I've noticed that.
Would
Yeah.
you like to read another one?
Guys,
Yeah,
I have to
I don't mind.
go. I have to go, Wolfie. So I bid you good night. Thank you for reading.
Good
Thank
night.
you, Cordelh. Because Wolfie, it's almost it's past midnight here,
Is it?
and
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty late.
yeah, I mean, I promised to stay till midnight, and now it's like way past. And yeah, and I'm falling asleep. I'm not running away.
In any
Okay.
case, it won't last too long. I have also to go to sleep pretty soon.
Yeah.
Fair enough, guys. No worries. Well,
But it was nice having you,
yeah,
Nodrik.
It
And
was my honor, my pleasure.
for sure.
Bye.
yeah.
Bye.
See you,
High
Nodrik.
five!
Bye.
Jesus, like
Bye bye.
There you go.
so
Okay.
needy, Nodrik. Yeah. Bye, Wolfie. Bye. High
Catch you
five,
later.
whatever you.
High five.
Um,
Sleep well.
Okay.
So you want me to read another one?
Sure. Go for it.
All right. I mean, I was going to read that other one that I thought might be a little bit too visceral for the stream, but I'll read the other new one that I wrote instead. It's called Fingers. Fingers that poke and prod, the blind eye, a disconnected sob. So detached yet so inquisitive, trying to make the most of what little is left to give. We all feel this in our hearts, the tearing torn apart. So when the weakest pulse meets the immobile, we seek to cure conflict and scrape at its surface for just a little while. The freedom to test our limits and seize its emotion. Of anything tangible we can hold on to slipping through an endless ocean. In this picking and prying open of the mind's eye, the vision of listlessness when we cast it all into the fire. The perspective of one so isolated and immersed in shadow, the heavy burden of senses beneath and within our bone marrow. The fixed form hits the surface like a comet, twisting and writhing in the impact crater. Is this what we meant? What we mean? When the body is broken by machinations outside of the scene? Yet we explore deep inside the mixed feelings of cold marble, static shock in the searching, shifting, garbled. Will we ever find what it is to breathe within this illusion of what we believe? Thanks, man. No worries, Cord. Have a good night, everyone.